Hey besties, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So first of all, I want to show you the fit. Very lazy, not ironed. Let's get past the idea that my fit today isn't the greatest. It was something that it's currently like 8 AM. I threw this together because I wanted to go on a walk with my dog, which will be linked below. You can go watch that. But anyway, I'm just wearing these. I'm wearing this shirt. I'm wearing Timberlands, and then this jacket, which is keeping me very warm, which is why I'm outside. So this is what we're gonna do. I really have so many burning thoughts about Trisha Paytas, and I was gonna tweet them, or I was gonna FaceTime my friend. And here's the thing, right? I realize that in tweeting it, half my audience aren't gonna see it. And if FaceTiming a friend, my friends don't give a shit. And then I was like, oh damn it, I wanted to have a relaxed conversation and not kind of feel like I have to be doing the most in a video, if you know what I mean, to like me feel like I'm making a video. And then I was like, you know what? The besties don't care. The besties love a FaceTime call. The besties love. So what we're gonna do is sit and talk about Trish. Now, again, so much I want to say. The shop didn't have a Red Bull. Instead, it had a Monster. Now, I know that I don't like the original Monster flavor. I got this one because I think this color means coconut. I may be way off. Please be good. Please be good. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Okay, wait. Okay, it's alright. Really has no flavor at all. Is Monster stronger than Red Bull? Someone let me know. Okay, let's talk about Trisha. First of all, let's talk about where Trisha Paytas is today. Now, please, the purpose of this video is I want to have a really open conversation. You can say your opinions, you can say what you think about the way Trisha's been handling her career. That's why I'm making this video, because I want this to be a conversation and you can say yours. Even if you're going to do paragraphs in the comments, bitch, I'm going to read it. And I mean that. So, Trisha Paytas in 2021. It shocks me that we're in 2021. I keep having to tell myself it's not 2020. I feel like it's 2020 part 2. Trisha Paytas is, I think, at an all-new peak right now. An all-new peak. Professionally and personally. And now I do want to make it very clear that even on my channel, we were a channel that, you know, called Trisha out on her bullshit. We still do. However, the leaning majority, especially on the besties community, is kind of pro Trisha Paytas. Or if we're not going to say pro Trisha Paytas, we're saying like tolerant of Trisha Paytas in the grand scheme of things, with like all the influencers that are being presented to us. So if we're going off of behavior from influencers in 2020 and 2021, especially with the narrative Shane versus Trisha, Jeffrey versus Trisha, Hair by Jay versus Trisha, people are siding with Trisha, and that's having people have like a new sympathy towards her, because they're seeing a betrayal of a friendship and relating it to, you know, something that may have happened in their life, a betrayal of a friendship. I know I can deeply relate to her on that, especially the like longest friendship you can ever think about. And I think that is a big reason in why the narrative with Trisha Paytas has changed recently. And I do not think that one is planned. No. However, Frenemies, very interesting. Frenemies, we're seeing a new rise of not only Trisha Paytas, but Ethan Klein, and also podcasts. And now, I don't want to just give H3H3 credit for like podcasts getting, you know, reinvented again. However, I really do want to. I love the H3 podcast in general, and I love Frenemies. And I've been telling you that I love Frenemies since it started. It's a guilty pleasure, and I think a lot of people can relate on that. And even if you can't, you know, I respect you and it's not your thing. However, I think it's very interesting, and I think the dynamic of Frenemies with Ethan and Trisha and their past history, and them kind of coming together because they kind of have to, because Trisha is marrying Ela, who is Ethan's wife's brother-in-law. They were kind of forced into doing it, and the dynamic is so different in them. And through the podcast, we're seeing Trisha go from this defensive person against Ethan and not liking Ethan, and Ethan being standoffish towards Trisha, to Trisha really opening up to Ethan and them having a really healthy friendship, and one that Trisha doesn't seemingly like had ever before, even going back to Shane. Now, Trisha's reputation last year was not what it is this year. People were like, I like Frenemies, but I don't like Trisha Paytas. But the Shane Dawson thing is super interesting in how all it took was Shane Dawson, Trisha speaking out against him, for people to be like, you know what? Finally, this is what we've been waiting for. Like, you're seeing the truth. Because Trisha was going harder than anyone was. Even Shane defending Trisha in times. Not at times, all the time. And so Trisha really risked her reputation and did. Like, her public standing last year was not good, even with the general public. People were watching Frenemies going, this is super interesting, but people still didn't like Trisha because they were like, how are you defending this? How are you defending this? Then she started attacking drama channels, attacking commentary channels, attacking journalists, attacking news articles, attacking videos that were doing super well on Shane, calling his behavior out, like D'Angelo Wallace's one. She was just attacking D'Angelo. And it's super interesting how the second the narrative switched with her and Shane, people were open arms. And I think that is a testament that maybe people were waiting for that. And Trisha has had many, like, peaks on YouTube. She was in the Vlog Squad. But even, I don't think in the Vlog Squad, in her general videos, other than ones with, like, David or Jason in the title or the thumbnail, we're getting the views that she kind of gets now. And one thing that I really want to say is Trisha Paytas, in my opinion, is doing better on YouTube in 2021 than she ever has before. Now, unpopular opinion, because you may look at her videos and be like, okay, in some of these videos she's only getting 200,000 views, 300,000 views, 100,000 views, or whatever. Okay, hold on. Zero sugar. Maybe that's why this tastes like fucking nothing. Trisha is uploading so many videos. Per day she uploads, what, like 2 to 3 videos? One video, like most days, every week a certain amount of videos. Trisha, like, overall is getting more views and more engagement on her YouTube channel in a long time. Because there's now an audience who are watching every one of them videos or a majority of them videos. So overall views on her channel every day, she's... Now, I don't want to speak money, and I'm going to focus the conversation away from this, but all I'm going to say is, YouTuber to YouTuber, I'm well aware that Trisha Paytas, depending on demonetization and monetization, is making a lot of money on YouTube right now. From Frenemies, the money she gets from that, also the split, the ads they get on Frenemies, she gets regular ads on her YouTube channel, which is interesting considering she is a controversial YouTuber, and normally when a YouTuber is controversial, brands are like, ah, but then again, she has more adult themes. Her OnlyFans is so successful. It's interesting because she is one of the pioneers of this platform, and we don't see many of her era who are still on YouTube. And the ones that are on YouTube, look around at them right now. Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson. They're the main two. And especially her being so close with both of them, it's interesting how she's avoided, in the long run, obscurity and public rejection, I would say. And also what's interesting is Trisha was called out for a lot of things in the past couple months for, you know, speaking up on certain things, speaking up on certain topics or whatever, and a lot of it is resurfacing within the past couple of weeks with people being like, oh, she was ahead of her time and all. This goes for speaking about James Charles, Charlie D'Amelio, David Dobrik, all these different people. People are like, wow, look at this clip of Trisha from 2 months ago. We attacked her for this, and maybe she was saying, you know, some truth here or truth here. And I think Trisha's reputation, understandably, is horrible, sorry. Of course it's going to be horrible. Like, Trisha Paytas is a troll. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because she's built her career off of it and it's worked for her. Now, we'll get to her earlier stuff in a second, but it's worked for her. She trolls, you know, and there's a line where people don't know if she's trolling or not or whatever, and she keeps people on her toes. And all it takes is looking on Trisha's channel and going through the months of uploads, that there are so many different eras, even just down to within the past while, where Trisha cosplayed as a Domino's manager. She cosplayed as a Domino's manager. Such a stupid thing. Such a stupid, like, who cares? But it was unironically funny. And then her buying thousands of dollars worth of Adam Sandler things, it's like unironically funny because she doesn't say it as a joke. And there's been so many different kinds of that, and so Trisha will always be interesting. That's the difference with like Shane, Jeffree, and Trisha. Trisha will always keep people on their toes and be interesting. Whether we agree with her or not, she'll always come up with ways to be interesting, whether it gets her views in the moment or not. So that's within recent time. Now, if we go back, Trisha was very hungry for fame. Back in the early days of her YouTube channel, I'm talking like 2013, 2012, 2014, 15, it was trend after trend, what's on my iPhone, ASMR, trending topics Trisha was doing. Reaction videos, literally everything she's done. And it's interesting looking at that versus now, because Trisha really, her content nowadays is more just vlogs, and people watch them. Going to Starbucks, a 50-minute unedited vlog, people are watching it. Whereas her content used to be 5-minute, 10-minute long videos of what's on my iPhone. You know, the trending of that week. She's done collabs with people. She's done all this, and she was definitely very fame hungry at the start. We see this with her going on, you know, reality shows, different. I remember her being on Big Brother in the UK. Any audience members from the UK, whenever she was on Big Brother, I remember my mum was so confused watching. She was like, how do you know this person? And then years later, my mum now knows everything about Trisha from my videos. So I think there was always a fame element with Trisha, and she admits that herself. And then we go into the topic of controversial Trisha Paytas. The stuff that Trisha Paytas has never, and in my opinion will never, escape. Because like her peers, during that time, and even up until recently, a very important point, she's built a lot of the foundation of her videos, content, jokes, whatever, off of just really disgusting things, triggering things, and just not good, flat out not good, hurtful, disrespectful content. And now this goes in terms of appropriation she's done, and that goes for a lot of different topics, to just straight up disrespecting a lot of different topics, to almost embracing certain topics too much that comes across as, and can be, very disrespectful. Language she should not be using, videos of her, the N-word, other words, like, there's a lot of content with Trisha Paytas that, like, no one can stand behind. And I want to make a point that, like, if you're not gonna stand with Shane if he does it, or Jeffree if he does it, or James when he does it, same goes for Trisha. And the argument is always if they've changed over time, and people are like, Trisha's changed over time. We'll not get too ahead of ourselves, because Trisha still has a lot of content within recent times that is way too far. So we'll not use that argument with Trisha the same way we won't with any of the other people. However, it's interesting to note that Trisha's personality has stayed the same throughout her time on YouTube, but her content has completely shifted. Like, completely shifted. Normally, if you're going to go to the extreme of copying trends and then, you know, doing unedited all these videos, surely people would drop off and notice a change, because you can't keep up the 15-minute energy that you're doing in these short videos to try get, you know, 1 million views or whatever, as in a 50-minute unedited video. But the thing with Trisha is, it never, in my opinion, felt fake. It never, in my opinion, felt not authentic. It always felt like Trisha needed YouTube, and needed to film, and needed to talk to someone. And I think that authenticity of being with the camera and it feeling like a friend, that's how you get an audience connected. And Trisha knows that. And oh, I need to talk about her TikTok as well. It's interesting how her personality and concepts of videos and stuff are almost, they just go hand in hand. No matter what she's doing, she has the same personality doing it, the same running jokes, the same whatever. And it shows that it was never put on. But it's also interesting to note as well that Trisha has been very vocal about her struggles on her platforms. And normally when you do that, there's a lot of backlash, but also at the same time, you will get an audience that want to protect you, I know it with looking up to YouTubers myself. Whenever I'm watching these videos about them talking about D or A abuse, you feel for them and you want to hear their story, and you're like, wow, and look. And with Trisha, there's been many of those times, and mental health struggles, and it makes people almost feel motherly towards her in a really weird way, even like teenagers and stuff like that, where they feel like a friend has opened up to them. And in the long run, because of doing that and being so open on her YouTube channel, there's been that authenticity from the start to now that even long-term watchers would probably still be interested in her content, because it's still her. Now, I'll be interested if there's, you know, however many people out there that watch her videos now that were watching from the start. You know what I mean? Because it has been a stark difference, or a stark, drastic change in content. And I would love to know, I wonder if there's any people out there. That'd be actually really interesting. And also, Trisha has gone through different YouTube groups, YouTube friends. There's been drama. People have dropped off at certain points. People have picked on. People have been on her side. People have not. People have left because of that. People have gained because of that. This goes to David Jason, Gabby Hanna, other, like Joey Graceffa and Shane and Jeffrey and Ryland. And, you know, whenever Trisha does an expose video on people, it either goes one of two ways. And within recent times, people have been on her side. So it's been only beneficial for her. But in the past, with exposing Ethan Klein, people have not been on her side. Anthony Padilla, I think is his name. Whenever people were not on her side. So, sorry, my phone went off. Hey, we're on FaceTime, it's okay. It's my screen time. Let's see what this says. Your screen time was down 6% last week for an average of 11 hours. Damn. So, people haven't always been on her side, but with her exposed videos recently, even down to her ones on Gabby Hanna, people are on her side. Which is interesting to know. Now, I want to say, I believe TikTok was a main reason in why Trisha Paytas is having one of her most successful sprouts ever. Trisha Paytas, whether we want to have the real conversation or not, come on, it's just us two, is perfect for TikTok. Trisha, whenever she's given a 60-second period, can put a lot into that. Whether it's an explosive drag of someone, an explosive expose on someone, her just in the car with the Starbucks, her talking, her crying, her opening up or whatever, her personality and style of content works so well condensed. And whenever she is doing these videos, cosplaying as a Domino's worker, but not saying it's not real and not even addressing it or whatever, like all these different things, it works so well on TikTok because TikTok has the same energy as Vine, and Trisha worked very well on Vine too. Re-uploads of her content, all like this. She's snappy and she's witty. And now, this video is not meant to be pro Trisha, it's not meant to be against Trisha. I'm just objectively speaking on, from my own looking at this, and I've seen YouTube videos by Trisha for a long time now. I'm aware of the peaks and falls, whatever, but it's interesting how she always comes back. It's also very apparent to note that Trisha can have millions of subscribers, millions of views a month, whatever, and still can get dragged like that. You know what I mean? It's never, with other YouTubers like that, you know, their audience want to defend. With Trisha's, they either defend or they don't at all. They're like, you know what, we're on the person calling you outside. That's also interesting to know. So Trisha's been working so well on TikTok, and she's also posting numerous videos a day, as well as getting herself in the algorithm of TikTok. She has the built-in audience who are curious about her, who've heard about her controversies, with the re-uploads of content from Frenemies, with Frenemies being so, you know, snappy in their content as well. It uploads on TikTok very well, and Trisha gets millions of views on TikTok and makes a lot of money on TikTok through the creator fund, which is like ads in between. That's also, in my opinion, a big reason why there's been this surge of Trisha online. And she's very smart for moving to TikTok when she did. And also the relatability of her on TikTok, where she will record a TikTok of her going to the drive-thru, and it's literally not an interesting TikTok. People love it on TikTok because it's like, this is so interesting, because then you'll scroll past and it's a video of her like dancing, and scroll past a video of her crying. It's like a reality show without someone having to watch 50-minute long videos of her. And if you scroll through her TikTok, like her or not, it's like, it brings you in because you're like, what's the next one? What's the next one? Because you cannot predict this shit. And now the final part I want to talk about in kind of like Trisha's career and why I believe this drink was not a hit, by the way. It's just like any drink without sugar doesn't slap. One thing I want to finish on is drama. Trisha knows that drama gets views. Trisha knows, come on now, that drama channels, commentary channels, journalists, whatever, are in her benefit. That doesn't mean they're pro Trisha, it means they're covering stories about her. Trisha exposes someone, drama channels, commentary channels, journalists, her name is spread about. She's always a trending topic, and she has been since 2017 or something, when the dramas really started kicking off with Gabby Hanna, with the Vlog Squad, with David, whatever. And Trisha's well aware of that. And it's interesting that the dramas with Gabby, whatever, Trisha acknowledged that they weren't getting views, and you know what? They stopped. Very interesting. And Trisha being able to start drama with the like highest social media stars right now, like Charli D'Amelio and James Charles, the ones at the top of TikTok, who are then in her exposed videos of them, she's doing them on TikTok, a condensed version, and a longer version on YouTube. People going to watch both because the TikTok is so explosive, then they watch the 50-minute long video. And her engaging in drama with the biggest TikTok creators, she's talking about someone that's super popular, so their fan base is going to come over and attack, or be like, oh, who is this? And then they're watching, and it's views, and it's views, and it's views. I don't know if Trisha has a team behind her. I would kind of assume so. I don't think she does. Maybe like the bare minimum, like a team you would have. I don't know if it's technically management and stuff, because I feel like she would literally give them a heart attack with like the stuff she does every day, and like PR would be like, get her on the phone, you know what I mean? It's interesting how her career is almost like everything a manager would tell you not to do, but it's worked for her. Don't get into drama, don't fight people, don't be tweeting rude things, don't be doing exposed videos, don't be calling people the worst names under the sun, don't be... It works for Trisha, and it doesn't work for many people. And I want to ask you why you believe it works. The fuck is that? Why you believe it works for Trisha. Is it due to the like enthralling, is that the word, personality, where it brings you in, and whether you are finding it or whether you're finding it like entertaining or not, you're like, you know, watching it? I want to know. But then again, a lot of people cannot stand Trisha, a lot of people cannot watch these videos, but there's obviously a lot of people, because however many years into her YouTube channel and she's still this relevant, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. And so that was kind of where my thoughts are right now with Trisha. I want to know what you're thinking of this. It's such an interesting character, isn't it? Very much so. I could literally talk about Trisha forever. Like, there's so many different eras of Trisha and so many different, like... It's interesting. Sorry, my neighbor opened their window. It was super awkward. I love you. Comment below your thoughts. Bye.